If you're a content creator or just on social media in general, I bet you have seen and heard this word a million times. And the word we're talking about today is niche. Niche, niche, niche. It doesn't really matter how you say it, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's talk about it. What is a niche? What is the importance of niche? Should you niche down, niche content, and so on? Niche is basically a group of people with the same interests or values, who believe in the same, or who likes the same, or who have a certain type of style that is the same. There is something about it that makes you alike and that makes you a part of this specific group, aka niche. Depending on what you do, what you want to do, your interests, what you look at on social media, all those things, you probably fall into a certain niche. It can be more, but you tend to probably be interested towards one thing more than another. For example, do you like sport? Do you like health and wellness? Do you like clothing? Do you like photography, traveling, food? The list is endless, but all of these categories that I just mentioned, those are niches. So there are a lot of good things about niche and there can be a lot of not so good things about niche. But I think in general, knowing what a niche is and finding the niche that belongs to you or the categories that you like in life, I think that's important just because it makes you who you are. You like things for certain reasons, and finding that community who also likes the same things as you, it just becomes easier to find those people, find topics about the things you're curious about, finding answers, and I don't know, just being a part of a community, shit. The next video should be about community. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out my niche, and the problem is that I don't see myself in just one niche. That has always been the main problem. I've always been a person who has never liked labels, and labels are kind of like niche. I don't like putting myself in a box or just saying that I only do one thing, because my entire life I've always been a fan of so many things. My niche is filmmaking, storytelling, content creation, and for the last 3 years or so, I focused a lot about mindset. Mindset can be a niche, but my type of niche mindset is how having a strong mindset can change everything. And with being a creator, the mindset has such a huge impact in how you will succeed in the future. So a lot of my content and a lot of what I've been trying to create is around mindset. I still like shooting, cinematic videos and all that, and like truly be a storyteller, but the talk around mindset, like how you grow as a person, how you train your brain when things get hard, those things are very important to me. So I consider myself part of that niche as well. The reason why a lot of people say you have to figure out what niche you want to be in or be a part of as a creator, it's because when you know your niche, you also know your target audience. And when you know your target audience, it's easier to not only create content, but to stay consistent, to know who you're talking with, and just the content itself, like what to create. Like once you're a niche, you can search up topics in that niche and just find so many other suggestions based on what you already like and what a lot of people in your niche talks about. So when you make the decision of I want to create content and I want to start showing up on social media, one of the first things that pops up in terms of advice when it comes to this is that the person will tell you that the first thing you need to do is to choose a niche. And when you hear that, it seems like, wow, I gotta choose like one category of what I want to do and only create content for that niche or category, like that seems very limited when you hear it in that way. The thing is, once you decide on your niche, it becomes easier to create content. It becomes easier to stay consistent. It becomes easier to target specific audience and to essentially grow. Because think about it in this way. If you needed a problem solved in your own life that is very specific. Okay, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm gonna use myself as an example just because that's the first thing I fucking came up with. I consider myself as a non-binary person. I just don't like using the words they, them, but I'm like an it. I don't see myself as having a gender, basically. So the situation with me is like, I am a woman, but I like to present myself and dress and look like a dude. So one of the things that I struggle with is to find suits. I can never find suits because all the suits are not shaped for the female body, unless, like, if I were to buy a women's suit, it would be too feminine and curvy. And then when I go to the men's section to buy a suit for men, they're just too big, or they're just like the legs are too long. So whatever it is, I always have problems because there's no suits that are like tailored for people like me. So because I have this problem, let's say I want to get a suit for a wedding, I would, if I could, find a person a store or a person, whatever it is, who specifically made suits for, let's say, mask women who basically want to look like dudes. I would rather find that person because they understand my struggles, they know what I'm going through, and they have a product that is like tailored towards who I am and who I want to be. I'd rather go there than to go to a general clothing store. Does that make sense? That's the same thing with niching. When you niche down, in general, the more you niche down, the more specific you are with, the content you create and the problems you solve. There's a saying that goes like, if you're trying to speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one. And that basically means if your content is so general that you're trying to reach everyone in the world, you're going to reach no one, because it's literally so general, it's so surface level that it doesn't connect with individuals, because it's just, your content is so generic, it's so basic that anyone could like somewhat relate to it, but that means that there's no one in the world who could like truly relate to what you're saying, because what you're saying is just so basic. The more you niche down as a creator, the easier it is going to be for you, because you have created these set rules for yourself. So you're not going to create any content outside these rules. When you have very strict rules of who you are, what you want to create, it becomes easier to like do this every day, because you know exactly what it is every time. But versus if you don't have a niche, or you have several niches, waking up every day, it can be like, what am I supposed to create now? Am I supposed to create this interest or that interest? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a vague niche or having more niches, because that's kind of me. Like I'm multi-purpose. I have multi-purposes. I am multi-passionate, that's the word. It's low-key cold up here. It's just really windy right now, and yeah. It all depends, right? It depends if you're creating content purely for fun. If you're just creating it for fun, like this is my hobby and I just love cooking and I just want to document to myself and my friends the cooking process and the results and just having fun with it, then I would say don't worry about this niche stuff. Like, you shouldn't worry about that. You should just continue having fun and doing what you want to do. But if you are doing this, like you're creating content with the intention of building a brand, making money, actually like grow a loyal audience, and like being serious with it, then you need to think about your niche a bit more, because it's basically going to be your strategy for growth. It's going to be your strategy of how you're talking to people, how they resonate with your content, and just how you basically make a plan for all the content you want to create in the future. But it all depends. There's not a wrong or right answer. It just depends on what you want to do. The whole point of niching down is so that the people who go in your account or profile, website, or whatever it is, they can instantly know what this is about, like what you do, the problem you solve, and the content you create. So let's say you, like your niche is like cooking. It's food, it's cooking, and if I'm trying to come up with new dinner ideas, then maybe I would want to follow a cooking blog or a TikTok account that makes food and comes up with recipes, right? It's easier to follow someone when you know what content you will get from them. And that happens by niching down. If you don't have a specific niche, you just do everything, then it's a guessing game for the follower, because when they start following you, they don't know if your next piece of content is going to be cooking, sport, or about your dog. And that causes confusion. And when there is confusion, people most likely don't act, aka they don't purchase your product, and they don't follow you, and they don't necessarily listen to you because you're not seen as an expert. Yes, it's cool to get that really aesthetic cinematic shot. That is always fun and it looks great, but it's not truly what I stand for. Like, my value and what I stand for is not pretty photos, because to me that's kind of surface level. I want to stand for, what I truly care about is to inspire others with what I've been through and with what I know. So I want a lot of my content to be storytelling and teaching people why having a strong mindset is important, and how you can overcome anything in life if you like put your mind to it, or you can achieve anything in your life if you truly put your mind into it. I've been going through a lot of different stages of being a creator. It also, like, the first thing that was like my passion when it comes to creativity, this was like when Instagram was just started or founded, and that was like photography. I got into photography. This was before I had like a DSLR, a camera. I just took photos with my phone, but I uploaded it on Instagram. I found all these like editing apps, and from there on I started liking social media and I started liking filmmaking. And I thought, after a while, photography got a bit stagnant. I felt there was so much more of my potential and my voice and what I wanted to tell people. So I kind of transitioned from photography to film. I studied, I specialized in film in high school. I started watching YouTube a lot, like every day, like YouTube tutorials and all those, very known storytellers and YouTubers. Then when I moved to California, I'm originally from Oslo, Norway. When I moved to California at age 19 for college, I majored in film. I went to film school, and I fell in love with not necessarily movies, but I fell in love with the art form where you escape the reality you live in with the hope of a better future for yourself. A lot of the TV shows that I grew up watching was about the life I'm living right now. It was about, it was like 90210. It was the OC. It was like very Americanized. One Tree Hill is like my favorite. Everything was very Americanized and very like California dreaming type of thing, which was always my dream. And because I was so inspired by all that as a kid, I wanted to do the same for other people. I wanted to tell my own stories or make my own short films that were similar and had the similar feeling to it. And that's kind of how I chose film and why I do what I do today. Now though, I don't make movies, like I don't work on sets, like I am not in the motion picture industry. But I know a lot of people who are, but I'm actually in the music industry, and I'm a videographer, editor, content creator for this company in LA. I deal with a lot of musicians, like really big musicians, but I work for this company and I do educational content for them. I do events and so on. When the pandemic happened and we were all forced to just stay at home, I started becoming very curious about coaching and digital products, because I thought about it in the way that we don't know how long this is going to last, but I still want to grow my audience. I still want to potentially have a service to sell to people, and I wanted my brand to not die because of the circumstances. And I know a lot of companies, a lot of small businesses, unfortunately they went bankrupt and they had to close, and I that was very unfortunate. But I was thinking about my situation, and I got into coaching, and I was never really successful with it. I'm gonna say that right away. Like, I didn't get any clients at all. Like, no one fucking cared about what I had to say. But it did open up a new world to me that I didn't know about. And that was, again, going into a new niche. When you do change to another niche, or you change parts of it, like, it's still important to have something from your old niche that is relatable, that has that connection. So to me, I wanted to get into coaching, so creative coaching. I wanted to make courses and digital products for people who wanted to learn about videography, editing, storytelling, color grading, and so on. So that was what I really wanted to happen for, I would say, 1.5 years or so. I was not successful with it, but that was a way where I still kept my interests of filmmaking, photography, creativity basically, but instead of shooting for other people and only shooting and editing, I wanted to teach creators how to do the things that I already knew how to do. I wanted to teach people about just the skill level that I had built up and what it took to get to where I am, and a lot of the mindset around it. If you haven't gotten a significant amount of followers, and in my opinion that would be like 10K and up, like if you haven't reached that level yet, I think you can try as many new things as you want, because if you only have like a couple of hundreds or 1,000, 2, 3, 4,000, it's not that many people. So it's easy to start new, to get new followers. And if those followers that you have don't like the new direction you're going, then you're not losing that many people. No matter the niche I'm going to choose and the direction I'm going to go, the most important thing to me is to be myself, is to choose something that truly makes me happy and that excites me and that I want to do. And if I stay true to that, if I stay true to truly just listening to my own heart of my own passion and what drives me, then I feel that I'm gonna do great no matter which direction I go, because I'm staying true to myself, I'm being myself, and like that will transcend through my videos or through my content. One thing that challenges people to, choose a specific niche is that they think that, well, there's already so many people doing this. I don't want to be a 600,000 person to do this. But people have always done what you're doing or what you think of doing. Like, there's so many people in this world. You can't let that stop you. Like, the fact that a lot of people do filmmaking, but if that's what I want to do, I should do that. And the thing that helps me is that you're still your own individual person. Like, I am me, and there's no one in the world who is me. Like, my personality, the way I talk, the way I tell stories, what I've been through, all of that is so unique to just me. That's who I am. So if I stay true to myself, I create authentic content, I'm honest, and I like, you know, just like how I talk with you guys right now, this is truly me being honest, authentic, genuine. Like, I'm speaking from my heart. Like, there's no strategy in what I'm saying right now. It's just like what I think and what I want to say. And if I keep doing this, then I think, you know, it's okay to change interest back. And, you know, it's okay to change interest, because realistically we all do. Like, we all grow, and when you grow, you change the things you like. You change where you work, you change where you live, you change the friends you have, you change your taste of food, and so on. We're not meant to just be one type of person and only like one thing. That's, you know, that's very limited. Again, I said this in the other video, but that's just very limited. So yeah, I'm gonna end with this, and every time I say this, I'm gonna end with this, it always ends up being a way longer portion of a conclusion than I thought. So I'm just gonna talk in a way that kind of concludes everything that I just said. I think when you're just starting out, if you're starting out getting into any form of creativity or like putting yourself out there on social media, I think what's important is to just have fun. Just have fun. Don't overthink like strategy and niche and all these other like mentors out there, because for them, their path might be different because they already have like 100K followers. And sure, they've implemented a few strategies to get there, but in general, a lot of the stuff they had to go through to get there was just like trial and error. And that means maybe changing niche like 10 times. It means to try things out. And I think to just not focus so much on like the numbers and statistics and all that. You need to like what you do before any of the other stuff matters. Not even just like, you need to love what you do. That's why it's a passion. You're so passionate about it. You want to do it all the time. You're obsessed with it. When you start out, all you should focus on is having fun. Having fun doing what you love. Having fun learning. Having fun experimenting. Having fun meeting people who also likes the stuff you like. And having fun eventually failing. It's okay, we all fail. I fail all the time. But I still am able to do what I do for a living because I never gave up. Life is hard, man, and shit happens. Life is not fair, and you who are watching right now, your life might be more unfortunate than mine, and that might be a reason why you haven't achieved, let's say, what I have achieved. But you can't let that stop you, because I didn't choose my life no more than you chose your life. No matter what it is or what you decide, you need to love the process of doing it more than the end result. I said this before and I'll say it again. The process will always be so much more important than the end result, because the process is you actually doing it every day, or you actually doing it and getting to that result. If you don't love that, then you don't love it. Then you're not passionate about it, and that's okay. When you have fun, things just come to you so much easier, because you're not overthinking these stupid things like numbers and niche and audience and blah blah. You don't think about it. When you're having fun, like purely just like out there with your friends skating in the fucking downtown, like you're just doing it because you love it. And then if you do it so much, you're like, well, I want to kind of document this. I want to take photos or videos, and like I want to like step up to that level of like, now I'm doing it for fun, and now I want to document and create content of me doing this. That's like that next level. When you do all these things, just you can't forget how it felt like when you first started. Don't ever forget that feeling. Don't ever forget why you started this in the first place. Don't ever forget your passion, because no number in the world should change that. You don't have to niche down if you don't want to, but niching down will make the process easier for you as a creator, and you will most likely see a more consistent following, because the people who subscribe to you, they know what they're getting. They know what kind of content that you will be posting tomorrow. It depends on your intentions for creating. Why do you want to do this? Is it because you want to blow up and become like an influencer? Or is it just because you want to document this and send this to your grandma? There's no wrong answer. It's just about what do you want to do. I'm gonna end it with that. And peace. It's cold.